Welcome to Women at Halftime podcast, but not just for women, for you men too. If you're at mid-career or the halftime of life, our inspirational topics are not only fun, but also meant to help you maximize and write your next chapter. Right here with me, Deborah Johnson. Well, hello, everyone. Greg and Deb with you today for the Women at Halftime podcast. What a fun time that we are going to have because we have such a fun subject. As we are recording this, making gift giving fun, we are in the process of doing this, making gift giving fun for our family. And so we thought we'd share a couple of ideas and some memories that we've had through the years. And as we spoke about this a little bit, it's just really fun thinking about that. So anyway, to remind you all, so thank you for being with me, but first of all,
sure.
Greg,
Hi, everybody.
Thank you. To remind you all, it would be very last minute gifts as this comes out, but it's a good gift for you next year. If it's for you, of course, we have our books, Stop Circling. There's the Summit. You can see them all behind us. The Summit, Women at Halftime, those three are the top sellers. We also have Bad Code. So just look on Amazon. I usually put links just about everywhere. So you can get a hold of those. And we have Hero Mountain Summit, heromountainsummit.com, coming up for individuals. That's a registration for that. And make sure you're on our newsletter, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. I said that nice and slow, you notice. So, okay, making gift giving fun. And I thought I'd start out, and I'd like you to give kind of your opinion, like let's talk about what gift giving should be all about and where we are at in that sort of philosophy.
I think as we've talked over the years, that part of the fun for us in receiving gifts was just the thought that somebody had thought about us and taken a little bit of trouble to find something that we would appreciate. And I think, what makes gift giving fun is if you can cause somebody else to feel appreciated. I think that's maybe at the essence of it. And it's also at the essence when we just exchange gifts kind of thoughtlessly. Maybe they're just, random something that you fill up a box with. It doesn't create that sense of appreciation in the other person, of feeling appreciated. And, we don't get those occasions to give gifts that often. So when we do, take the opportunity to make somebody feel appreciated, I think is worthwhile.
Yeah, it really is worthwhile. And it's fun that when somebody's really thought about something and also you're creating memories, because as we were able to look back, it was really creating a lot of memories. And this doesn't have to cost a lot. I mean, we are in definite inflationary times here. Every year, it seems like there's some sort of something going on. And okay, how much should I spend? And right now, credit card debt is at an all-time high. So this is not what we are encouraging at all. Especially coming from your background of finance, and what the repercussions of this. We've talked about this on many, many shows before. So anyway, but yes, creating that thoughtfulness, the memories, I think that's just a wonderful thing. And then we also talked about, and then we'll talk about some memories here in a moment, but creating concentric circles, especially for our kids.
Well, this was about when you're brainstorming for ideas of what to give somebody. Instead of like just randomly shopping at the mall or at Amazon, what we've found is helpful is if you think about whoever you're getting ready to give a gift to, you think about what their real interests are, and not so much needs, because most people can get what they need. But what are their interests that they maybe haven't splurged on themselves for yet? So maybe you've got a friend or a child that is into outdoor activities. So, the outdoor activities can be everything from jogging to fly fishing to, backpacking in and taking a tent and those kinds of things. And you go, okay, what would foster that at a real close level? It could be new running shoes. It could be new flies for their fishing gear. It could be the latest in insulated pants that can withstand hiking. Those kinds of things. And then you go out a little bit, and maybe you find an exclusive fly fishing magazine, or you find where really cool people go on hikes. Maybe there's a resort or something that is at the trailhead, and you get them, a coupon to stay at that resort so they can go on this awesome hike. So that's what we mean by concentric circles. You just kind of build up around things that are really of interest to them.
Yeah. And for instance, in one of our sons, well, all of them are kind of gadget guys, but one we call Mr. Gadget because he's always into some sort of gadget. And of course, we found some gadgets. I mean, those are usually readily available, so you can find. And
two things about this. First, one of the things he's into currently is he bought himself a new Traeger, so he's smoking meats, and he loves taking the time to do the smoking and stuff. And so, we go to Traeger.com and we find all of the accessories. There's smoking chips, there's recipes, there's rubs that you put on it. So, those are kind of easy stocking stuffer kinds of things that you can do. To go out a little bit, access to great meats would be, and he's got a butcher shop somewhere in town, so we can get a gift certificate for that favorite butcher shop. So that's kind of how you build that out. Mm-hmm. The other thing is because you took the time to think about them as a person, you amp up the likelihood that they're going to recognize that you appreciate them and you're going to make them feel appreciated. So I think.
Yeah. And it's like to be able to give gifts that are a little bit different. I'm into these consumables right now. So because after cleaning out for both of our parents, thinking, okay, all right, time together is probably the most special gift you can give us right now. We don't need any more stuff to clean through. But we do appreciate, of course, everything. But even with, one of the daughter-in-laws is gluten-free. So I know if I'm going to give a little, some stocking stuffers, a wonderful gift is just a gluten-free cookie mix or a gluten-free, one that's a little bit different that I would find. Usually I'm always shopping sales, but if I find a little something, even at Williams Sonoma or something like that, that's, they're on their sale rack. And I think, oh, that's a, blueberry muffin. Oh, she would love that. It's all gluten-free. So those sort of little things that I can slip in, and it means a lot that I would understand her and what her specific needs are. I mean, I have a sister that's gluten-free as well. It makes a big difference for them physically, a huge difference. It's hard for me to understand because I eat everything, but it really does. It makes a difference for them. So physically. So anyway, understanding those, and I, as I'm putting together some of these little concentric circles and what would mean the most to them. And and sometimes they've got most everything. Like we're thinking of one that's more into fitness. Okay, so what else do we get? Well, there could be a magazine. There could be something that would be.
Yeah, but even though they have everything and they're into fitness, they wear out stuff. So
that's true.
You can always get them the next best thing.
Yeah. Although Anytime we look at their closets. Anyway.
She thinks their closets are a little overflowing.
A little overflowing, yeah. Like all of us, like, do we ever throw anything away? So anyway.
Yeah, but when you
Yeah.
typically don't throw anything away
Yeah.
until you get something new, right?
Yeah, that's, well, yeah, yeah. You got
Especially in some people's cases.
Yes. Well, yeah, I'm not doing any sort of finger pointing here. So anyway, well, I thought that would be a really good thing to talk about because the concentric circles really helps in brainstorming. I think that's the main thing. You don't have to get these things. You know, sometimes we've gotten things and we know that because we found, you know, the gift cards later.
Oh, so, yeah. So this is funny. You know, back when they were all college students and low on money, we'd get them like a Subway card.
Yeah.
You know, so they could get something nutrition to eat on the run. Well, like 7 years later, they move out of the house and the card is still in their drawer.
Still in their drawer.
So, you know, I enjoyed Subway for a couple of weeks. But you know, so you got to think through some of this stuff, and we were surprised that gift cards couldn't get used.
Yeah, that's true, and it was fun to find some of those. What was the one year that our son Mike got a gift card, a Starbucks card from everybody? I mean, all of his brothers. His brothers gave him one.
His cousins gave him one.
Yeah. And then I think from the other side, he got one too. It was like every time he'd open up, it'd be another Starbucks.
Well, the funny thing about that is it's kind of the negative example. Yeah, we got something, but obviously there wasn't much thought that went into the gift giving.
Yeah.
And, you know, the gift giving is about the thought behind the gift as much as it is the gift itself. So, you know, I mean, if you wanted to, you could just start writing $1,000 checks and everybody would be happy, but there's not a lot of thought there.
No. And not everybody can do that.
Everybody will spend the $1,000, but not everybody will feel appreciated.
Right.
Because of that. No, obviously in some situations that would be terrific.
It would be terrific for somebody that has to pay off some bills or schooling or whatever. Yeah. Oh, definitely. That would be appreciated. So, and that just brought to mind one of the, when we were talking about memories, and it doesn't need to cost a lot. One of my brother-in-laws would always give something to the cousins that would create some sort of memory. Okay, so one year he gave that juggling kit, and a juggling kit, and he told all of the kids, they were very motivated because he was going to give whoever could juggle the longest a $20 bill.
And the kids were how old at this time? They were like all high school, I think.
High school or younger. They were at the stage where they would enjoy something like this. So, but it was a cheap little set. I mean, it was just this little thing of 3 juggling balls, and they, you know, had to open up the pack. So they created such a funny memory because it was one of our sons that ended up winning.
Well, yeah, but so most of the cousins go in the other room and they spend 20 minutes practicing.
Yeah.
They're bound and determined they're going to win this thing.
Yeah.
And so they all come back to the table, the contest starts, and our youngest son at that point opens his up.
Yeah, no practice.
Everybody else goes first and nobody can do it. Dave grabs the balls off the table and just starts going.
And they were all throwing their balls out. Yeah, he knew how to juggle. No, but he's that natural athlete, and it came out in almost everything. It's just one of the funniest memories, and the stories grow. I mean, every year the stories just grow. They just do. So, but what was another let's talk about a meaningful gift to you. I mean, there's some funny gifts that we've done.
So if we go along the idea of feeling appreciated, I had just some wonderful Christmas experiences growing up. When my grandmother figured out that I liked 7-layer cookies, you know, every year there'd be 7-layer cookies as we walk in the door, and I'd get a hug and a kiss, and you know, I knew whatever happened the rest of the day that I was loved, that somebody had taken the time to appreciate me and made these cookies, especially because I liked them. Now, everybody was going to eat them, but I knew that they were made because of me. And that was sweet. I remember being in college, And one of my uncles bought a black leather jacket for me. I mean, it was really pricey. And I said, thank you. And he goes, well, I knew you could make it look good. And it was just like, and he was not one of those shared feeling kind of guys. And, it was extremely meaningful. And that's what I mean about feeling appreciated. I mean, just my mom, when I was in high school and early college, I could always tell the May Company box, and inside would be a couple of new pairs of pants, maybe a pair of jeans and a pair of cords. And I was always happy because along with it would come the comment, oh, I just want to make sure you're not wearing those worn out things. And it was just the simple making sure that her son was taken care of. And those are tender and precious memories.
Yeah, they really are. And I remember one of the memories, and it was after we were married. One of the ones that was just a memory that was very emotional for me was that we had this hand-me-down sewing machine. We had pretty much everything that was hand-me-down when we were first married, because you were coming off, playing in the baseball, and we had, I finished graduate work, and we were just basically, I mean, there wasn't a lot extra.
Yeah, you were going to graduate school, and I had a new job at entry level.
Yeah, there was not a lot of anything extra. So, but my parents had given my sisters and I each for Christmas a brand new sewing machine. And I still remember, it was so emotional. I started crying. Because I just couldn't believe it, because it was the type of, it was new, and it was the type of sewing machine that my mom always sewed on. She had taught all of us how to sew. I knew how to sew. We made all of our clothes. We got one new dress a year from the store, and we made all of our clothes. That was just what we did. We learned to sew. It better look okay, because we're wearing it. And so we just grew up with that, because that's how, there wasn't a lot of money also when my dad was building his business. So, and working. So anyway, having that brand new sewing machine and thread, all of these colors of thread, I just couldn't believe it. And my dad couldn't believe I was crying, but it was like, the sewing machine I had would, I don't know if you've ever worked on it. I used, it was a brand, like a Singer or something like that, but it would always, the bobbin would always get caught. It was constant. There was always a problem with it. So it took forever to finish something. And to be able to have a new sewing machine, and, made a lot of the boys' clothes as they grew up as well. And they probably remember thinking, oh, you put us in that. But it was, very fun. So that was a very meaningful, because my dad knew all of us, we still have that. So all of us still use that. Well, I don't use it very much, but I'm not getting rid of it until I have somebody in the family that can really sew. But it's been now, it's just a lifelong sort of gift. But that was very, very meaningful because of what it equipped us to do as well. So, yeah.
And you knew your mom had saved up, and just, you felt enormously honored that she would trust you with that.
Yeah. And also another gift from my mom, then I want to get back to maybe something else that was from you, but that my mother would always do. And I didn't realize this till later that she did it so many, because I started going through my linen closet, but she'd hit the sales. I mean, my mom loved to shop. I did not get that shopping gene. I just did not get the love to shop, but she loved it. So she'd always find something. And every single year she would give my sisters and I, we wanted to make sure, she always loved a beautiful table. Always. I mean, my mother just loved that. She'd give us a tablecloth. I ended up with, I don't know how many Christmas tablecloths, first of all. Then it's like, okay, I don't need another one. So I've ended up giving things away. But it was very, very special that she wanted us to be able to entertain. She knew we were all entertainers. We are. We've always had an open home. We've always done, a lot of events wherever we're. It didn't matter how big the house was. We would say, or apartment. We would have people over. So, but we were equipped with with tablecloths. And so, and when we went through their things, when we were cleaning out, after they passed, the number of tablecloths my mom had was astounding. I mean, it was just between the three, my sisters and I, between the three of us, we couldn't use it anymore. So we donated a lot of that because they were beautiful. But she would always be thinking of how can she help us, with what we were doing, because all three of us we had so many groups over all the time, especially with the type of work we all did as well. So anyway, that was another one. So did you think of something else that you wanted to share on something memorable about, those memories that they create for some of the gifts?
I know another one that I always really appreciated. I had an uncle that never got married. So when Debbie and I got married, and my brother and his wife got married, for Christmas he'd start buying us tickets to the local civic light operas, and it was something we obviously couldn't afford. And he would take us, and it was not only a treat to be able to go, but again, it signaled that he was willing to invest in us a little bit with not only money, but time, and that he wanted to spend time with us. And I don't know if it's my love language, but for me, part of either Thanksgiving or Christmas or even Easter was just sitting down all together and knowing we were going to be together for 6 hours.
That is your love language, by the way. It is spending time together.
I know that makes me feel appreciated. And it could be, my Midwestern roots, that all the family was from Oklahoma, and that's just something culturally that we did, was spend the afternoon together. But I remember just sitting down to Christmas dinner and feeling, this is perfect. Doesn't matter how good the food is, this is perfect. And that was fun.
I remember because you had two uncles that were unmarried. So there were just the two, you and your brother. So, and then of course, as our families grew, but your one uncle would always say, "Oh, come here." And he would do this with Trisha and I. "Well, come here," in the trunk of his car. And he had what kind of car? It had the hugest trunk. It was just
like an old Monte Carlo.
Yeah, huge trunk. So he'd open up
or something like that.
And he'd always, you knew he was shopping downtown LA somewhere. Who knows? But he'd open up this huge trunk. "Well, I just got a little something for you." And there'd always be some little thing of jewelry that he found. I remember one year he got like some pearl earrings or something that we'd never buy ourselves, and he'd give both of us the his both Trisha and I, he'd give both of us the same thing, of course. But it was so sweet every year that, he'll come here for a minute. Anytime we were going toward the trunk, we know, okay, what is it now? But he'd get such joy in that as well, because there was nobody else that he was, giving anything to quite like that. And you knew he had spent time thinking, "Oh, I wonder if they'll like this," and all of that. So that was a really special little memory of having that. And I also remember your Nana. She made the 7-layer cookies, but she also made amazing fudge. She might have kept making it because I loved the fudge so much, but it was like there would always be, and there were and
anybody who's made fudge knows that's a labor of love.
Yeah, she bring it in these clear Tupperware, like they were clear, but they were always, you knew how they were old because they were like the frosted older type. But every year they'd be in those, like round Tupperware, a little.
That's because my mom sold Tupperware when Tupperware first came out. So those were all.
I didn't know that.
Those were all.
They were originals.
Originals.
So, yeah. So, but that was fun. And every year, your uncles would give your mom something too, which was the type of crystal that
that Waterford crystal.
Oh my gosh! And like. Kids these days don't even want it, but it was so special
Yeah, she had quite the collection.
She did.
She passed away.
Because it was really sweet because they would give her, and I think we used the glasses that, certain glasses we used, but some of them we'd never used. So I don't know even how much she really used all of those, but to replace them, if you were to replace them, they're extremely now expensive, but they found someplace, and and that was always expected. There was something like that under the tree. So, well, anything else? Any other little memories?
No, I think we got the point across. Yeah. The point is to build memories by making somebody feel appreciated.
Yeah, yeah,
and doesn't have to be extravagant.
Yeah,
but it's just it's just that somebody cared.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh. One more thing is that when we started giving my parents the gift certificate, so it would be for 4,
right?
And we went to a local dinner theater.
Mm-hmm.
My dad would just be like, "Oh, I can't believe the food they give you here, and I can't believe it." I mean, he was like, "Oh, and the entertainment." He was like so excited. It was one of the best because it was a joy for us. We got to spend time, and we'd always go. And I said, "Okay, now dessert is not included, but we are paying for dessert." And that was like, oh, they're paying for dessert. And so we'd always order at least 2 desserts so we could split that. And my mom and I, of course, I think we ate most of them, but those memories now are just so special that they got such a kick out of just, being able to eat and see a show at the same time, because they didn't go out a lot like that at all. And just to be able to, I think one of the ones was Singing in the Rain, and to where they actually had the rain come on. And this was, this was the community theater with the rain coming. And my dad commented, I remember, "I can't believe they did the rain on there. How did they do the rain?" He's all analyzing everything. That was amazing. And look at the dancing at the same time. So they were just over and over and over. So you knew there was that sort of appreciation because, we had kind of growing up doing, I had, been at those sort of productions. So it was really fun to be able to give them that experience. And it was a gift to us as well, because it was that memory. And we are looking to do some of this with our kids now, because we keep telling them consumer or time together is one of the most special gifts you can give us right now, because
you mean you don't need more gadgets?
I don't need, no. But I did discover when we were getting some gadgets this year that I think I might have been the mother of gadgets. I guess I was out there. It's like my dad. Every time he'd get something for us, he'd be up there taking it apart. And I'm like,
always got it from somewhere.
So anyway, I guess I have to take that blame. So anyway, I hope you've gotten some ideas. It's prompted you with some ideas, if not for this year, except for if it's very, very last minute or whatever, but for this year. But to start thinking about the new year of when, you're giving gifts. It's a whole sort of time that, being able to give to each other is such a wonderful it's a wonderful gift, to both sides of that. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, get our newsletter, goalsforyourlife.com/newsletter. And of course, there's books, there's all sorts of, but just make sure you're on that and that you check all of that out. And we don't spam you, and it just comes, you can get our current articles with every podcast. We are on together once a month, which always is very fun. So I don't even have to drag you too much anymore. You just, you're willing. And so that's the fun thing, but you always add such wisdom, and I want people to hear from your side. So anyway, so thank you again for being with us.
Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes, and we'll look forward.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Yes. We'll look forward to being with you again next time. So bye-bye for now. Thank you for joining us. It is because of our wonderful listeners like you that we keep going strong week after week. We'd love it if you'd share and follow us to not miss a single show, and even write a review. You can also find all of our articles, products, and links at womenathalftime.com.